Shad Morton trying to give the Redskins something to cheer about, and he does. Morton going out of bounds shy of the 40-yard line, and a return of 38 yards. Let's check the touchdown again, guys.
Well, Champ Bailey is such a great football player, but he makes a big mistake here. He's going to take the release of the first tight end coming off the ball, and he is responsible for this flat out here. By taking this guy and trying to jam him, he blows his assignment and allows for an easy touchdown.
Remember, they went 91 yards, and still in the third quarter, Dwight Smith had that interception of that long pass to Rod Gardner, and into the fourth quarter, Buccaneers now lead 21-13. And Will Heller, undrafted rookie from Georgia Tech. And before the play can get underway, the Redskins call a timeout. That is their first.
Because 3 of those 4 games were at home. At some point, you've got to balance that schedule. You've got to be able to win at home if you're going to be successful in the NFL.
Giants have gone 1-2 at home so far. This is only their second road game. Ty Law is out. His ankle's been bothering him, and he's on the sidelines. Another first down. Inside the 30, Ike Hilliard. He came in as the Giants' leading receiver off to the best start of his career. And Hilliard gains 15.
Ike Hilliard does a great job of finding the soft spot in the zone. And in the first half, I think a lot of the plays they had called were man-to-man routes, expecting a lot of pressure. They seem to have adjusted that. You see the spot right there between the 2 linebackers. Ike Hilliard goes in, shuts it down in that little soft spot in the zone. Nice job avoiding the jam by Willie McGinnis, too.
Collins pump fakes and now throws. And the catch is made by Shockey at the New England 23-yard line. Gain of 6. 6th catch of the day for Jeremy Shockey. Time winding down in this third quarter. Down to 20 seconds. Patriots led 7-3 at the half. They've scored 10 here in the third quarter. 28-yard Adam Vinatieri.
They want this one bad against Philly. 2nd down and 8. The Litton 90 play to Smart, and it's covered nicely, but Smart gets away.
And Jim Finn picks up another Giants first down.
Here's the ageless Bruce Smith on the sideline, still needing 2 sacks to set the all-time NFL record, surpassing Reggie White. A little frustrated over there.
One of the greatest of all time, no question.
First down for the Redskins on the 37, trailing by 8 points. Up the middle, bobble, caught by Rod Gardner, and they'll mark it at the 41-yard line. A lot of baseball action. Aramis Ramirez with a grand slam home run. Pedro Martinez, Roger Clemens, and then the hit batsman, and then everything. All hell broke loose really at Fenway Park yesterday, and it continues today and tonight as the Cubs and Marlins next. Cubs with a chance to win, eliminate the Marlins, get to the World Series. Yankees and Red Sox game 4 tonight.
I'm wondering if Joe Buck got out of the stadium last night without getting into a scuffle.
I'll bet he did. 2nd and 7, flag down, and no play as Lavernius Coles, as when they throw the hat, that means a player went out of bounds, and a flag is thrown, and a penalty holding will be called against the Redskins.
You know, this Redskins offense has done a pretty good job of not self-destructing today.
Holding, 77 to the offense, 10-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
Randy Thomas, who was the only offensive lineman without a false start, and commits a penalty here.
Well,
that's
now
a big one.
Yeah, it is a big one, and that's we mentioned the first one that he's had. He's been the real anchor of that offensive line when they've had all these penalties, and now you can lump him in with the rest of them.
Redskins unraveling a bit here in the latter stages of the third and early here in the fourth. They once led 13-7, but trailed 21-13, and the screen pass to Byron Chamberlain, and his first catch in a Redskin uniform doesn't net him a lot. just 2 yards, thanks to Derrick Brooks.
You know, we haven't talked much about Derrick Brooks, but he is probably, you know, he definitely is one of the fastest players on the field, but because of his anticipation and the way that he's able to recognize formations and tendencies, it even makes him that much faster. And he's able to here see the screen, he comes back out and is able to make a play, and he is unquestionably the leader of that defense and does a great job as the quarterback in getting guys in the right positions.
No question about it, the heart and soul of that defensive unit with a lot of other great defensive players. 3rd and 15. Patrick Ramsey going upfield, and the ball is knocked down incomplete. Good coverage that time on Darnarian McCants, and Jermaine Phillips, starting his first NFL game as free safety today, made a fine play.
Boy, when you look at the Buccaneers defensively, when it's 3rd down and long, their linebacker core is about 10 yards deep. That was 3rd and so long. So the holes out there to throw into were very, very, very small.
Well, and that was an important drive for the Redskins. The Tampa Bay offense is on a roll, and you want to get something going yourself. Now they give the ball right back into their hands.
Brian Barker and Wansley with the fair catch at the 30-yard line. Warren Sapp and Patrick Ramsey. How often have you seen this between Sapp and any quarterback?
First sack of the game for either club. Check that first sack for the Patriots. Strahan had one earlier. 3rd down and 8. A big hit as Collins was looking for Tiki Barber, and Roman Pfeiffer let him know that he was in the area.
Man, that is one you have to go talk to your quarterback on the sideline right now, because you're not expecting to be covered or having a guy coming across the middle at that point. You have confidence in your quarterback that if he's leading you across the middle, that you have open field in front of you. If he throws it on your back hip, your back shoulder, makes you stop and turn for it, that means that you've got pressure coming at you. But when it's out in front, you don't expect to take a hit like Tiki Barber just took.
Brett Conway, 34-yard attempt. He has missed his last 2. Now 50% on the day. Conway 2 for 4 in his Giants debut. Patriots lead is now 11.
Midas brake job, including installation of our lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes. That's free oil and filter with any new brakes.
I brake for no apparent reason.
The business of beauty just took a very ugly turn.
Does this look like sailing to you?
Heroin's worth $250,000.
Nip Tuck, all new next week, only on FX. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
(21-13), the Buccaneers lead the Redskins, and the Redskin defense, even though it's early in the 4th quarter, this is an important drive for them to short-circuit Tampa Bay if they want to hang in this game. Tampa Bay has had the momentum, and this pass caught Keenan McCardell, and McCardell has another first down, picking up 13.
A little similarity in these 3 touchdowns, huh, Troy? I mean, you know, at some point, maybe the light goes on. Bootleg, 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 and every time I'm seeing Champ Bailey chasing the inside receiver and the guy popping to the outside wide open.
Well, that, and based on defensive alignment, whether it's Reagan Upshaw or Ronaldo Wynn, they have not had anybody home to contain that outside against Brad Johnson. So he's had clean looks at each of those receivers.
And the backup tight ends taking center stage on first down. Michael Pittman on the pitch, and Pittman is tripped up at the 47 after a 5-yard pickup by Jesse Armstead, and Bernard Holsey also gets involved.
You know, we mentioned earlier about Mike Allstott being out. He's put on IR. He will not be playing the rest of this year, and how much of a load Michael Pittman then is going to have to be able to absorb. But they're not even certain that, Chris, that he's going to be able to make it through the entire season. Of course, some of the problems that he's got off the field, but they don't know exactly when that's going to come to a head. and whether or not he's going to make it on through January.
81 yards today, 141 and 164 in his last 2 games. He has really become that Marshall Faulk for this offense.
Thomas Jones, the running back, and the first down pass to Keyshawn Johnson. First down at the 41-yard line of the Redskins, with nearly 5 minutes gone by, and Tampa Bay on a roll here, trying to come back from that Monday night horror.
Yeah, and you can see Keyshawn Johnson in his thigh, and it's giving him some problems. Very slow getting up off the ground, and talked to him before the game, asked him if he was going to be playing. He said he was, but the reason that he was he really felt that Brad Johnson needed him out there to be somewhat of a security blanket for him, even if for nothing else, just being out in the huddle. But he's had a bigger impact on the game than just that.
He's been huge here in the second half.
3 catches, 41 yards, but a lot more than the numbers show. You're right. First down at the 41. Michael Pittman. And gets inside the 40, picking up 2. And right now, John Gruden wouldn't mind a little sprinkling of ball control at this rate. Huh?
Well, after what happened on Monday night, I mean, they know that they're not just going to give up, and they got to get more points. 21 points wasn't enough Monday night, and right now you can bet not only are they trying to take some time off the clock, but they have every intention of getting this thing down and trying to get in the end zone.
You mean you never have enough?
Apparently not.
McCardell in motion. 2nd and 8. The pump fake one way and going deep to Keyshawn Johnson. He's got it. Touchdown, Buccaneers. And Matt Bowen was left to cover Keyshawn, who beat him soundly, a 39-yard score. And for Brad Johnson coming back to Washington, that is his 4th touchdown pass of the game.
Well, let me tell you, a lot of people want to be critical of Brad Johnson, and he lacks arm strength and all this stuff, but he has all the intangibles and knows how to play the position. He pumps to the right to Keenan McCardell. He's not there. He comes back to the middle of the field, as you're going to see, and he gets Keyshawn Johnson going over the top, and that's just a great job by Brad, moving defensive players to get his guys open.
Well, what he did was he moved that backside safety, so you end up running the route one-on-one against Matt Bowen.
And Martin Gramatica for the extra point in a very quiet stadium here in Landover, Maryland. Keyshawn Johnson's first touchdown catch of the year, and the Buccaneers now lead 28-13.
Some trickery from the Patriots. Troy Brown down the sidelines. Penalty marker. Brown out of bounds at the 43.
You'll fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Last week, the Dolphins blow the game open with a reverse. The Giant defense is very lucky that the same thing didn't happen to him this week again.
Oh, this one's coming back. Last week, James McKnight, a 68-yard touchdown run, took the handoff from Ricky Williams.
And this is what really put the game over the top for the Dolphins. They took control from that point on. They used the pursuit against them all day. There on the screen pass to Rob Conrad down inside the 10-yard line. The Patriots, watching the film, know that. Hold on to it till the 4th quarter, and then a lack of execution with a penalty. Dan Coppin on the clip.
So a 25-yard gain is erased. Getting back to baseball, Darryl, did you know that both starting quarterbacks in this game were drafted by major league clubs?
I did not know that.
Tom Brady drafted as a...
The question is not so much will it make you laugh as how long will it make you laugh. Now, in an effort to give everyone equal voice, these are some of the bad things people are saying. Exactly. Don't miss what everyone is calling the best new comedy of the year, Arrested Development. Premieres Sunday, November 2nd on Fox.
The Conqueror and the Conquered, and Keyshawn Johnson with the touchdown catch, and Matt Bowen, who was behind him, trying to chase him, and a 15-point lead now for the Buccaneers. And the kickoff fielded and downed in the end zone by Chad Morton. It'll be a touchback, and the Redskins begin from the 20 with a hole deep hole for them.
The key to this play was the protection that Brad Johnson got. He had to do the big pump fake and then come all the way back to the backside. He knew he had man coverage on the play, though. When the safety walks up over here, that's going to mean Matt Bowen by himself against the wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson, and that is an absolute mismatch. Watch how he sets him up to the outside before breaking off to the post.
I don't think Matt Bowen thought that Keyshawn would run by him and was anticipating a little curl route or a square in, and that's what allowed Keyshawn to run by him. And he said, hey, I can run deep. Nobody thinks I can run deep. I can run deep. They just don't throw it to me when I do. They threw it to him today.
8:48 to go in the fourth. And a handoff to Liddell Betts. And maybe a yard. And let's change pace to baseball. That's coming up. And JB, what do you got for us?
Hey, Dick, the Cubs have hit an NLCS record 10 home runs in this series. 2 of them by that guy right there, Sammy Sosa. Cubs lead the Marlins 3-1. One more victory. They'll be in the World Series for the first time since 1945. Back to Dick Stockton.
All right, James, and the pass caught by Byron Chamberlain. And that is a first down. Chamberlain getting into the act for the Redskins. First week he's been with the team and picking up 15 in the process.
Yeah, he hasn't had any time really to learn this offense, but yet he's been involved in a lot of plays. But now Washington is in the position that they didn't want to have to be in. They've got to throw the football against a good pass rushing defense.
And they're throwing it, and the ball nearly intercepted. Byron Chamberlain might have had his back to the play, and Jermaine Phillips nearly picked it off, but we'll have a penalty call against the Redskins.
That was a great call you made, though. Byron Chamberlain acted like he didn't have a clue the ball was coming.
Elisa hands to the face. Number 76 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still a first down.
That's on John Jansen, the right tackle.
Chamberlain took off down the field. Now maybe he just doesn't even see it. There you go. Good call by the officials. Working against Greg Spires. Really, the protection's been pretty good up front today. You can't complain about that. Anytime you're working against a bunch that's this good, they've just had some strange schemes on occasion.
He got hit harder a lot more against the Eagles last week. Liddell Betts looking for any kind of room, and there's just none there. And the crowd not at all pleased with the play call selection that time. Just a 2-yard pickup.
Well, they don't like it. They're down 15 points. It's 2 scores, and they've got to get the ball down in the end zone. I understand that you want to try to protect Patrick Ramsey, but right now you can't afford to do that. You need some big plays.
2nd and 19. They go underneath, and that's Liddell Betts. And he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe 11 yards shy of the first down to the 35. Nate Webster on the coverage inside and a pickup of 8.
I'm a little surprised we're not seeing Chad Morton in the ball game here. He gives you a little big play possibility with Trump candidate out.
Yeah, normally they use him in some time in the backfield, but not today. Here is the pass, and it's intercepted by Derrick Brooks, and he's going to sail into the end zone for the touchdown. There are no flags down. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as they did last week in the losing cause with Ronde Barber returning it for a score, get one from Brooks and a 44-yard return on the interception for the touchdown. And Patrick Ramsey is enraged.
Well, you're going to watch Ramsey. He's going to get some pressure, which is to be expected when the defense knows you're throwing the football. He steps up, but at the grab right there, Anthony McFarland gets a hold of his shoulder pad, which keeps him from being able to follow through. And, of course, Derrick Brooks, he had 5 interceptions last year. He's such a playmaker for this defense.
And 3 returned for a touchdown as he was the defensive MVP. And ordinarily, Dick Stockton, we'd say this game is over, but we all watched the Monday night game.
Because if you say it, it won't be.
That's right.
Well, Ronde Barber had the interception for a touchdown last week. That's very similar to what just happened here.
Martin Gramatica adding the 35th point for Tampa Bay. And you know what? That's what they scored on Monday night. 35 points against the Colts.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you guys the Redskins at this point. I'll take the Bucs.
So kind. 7th career touchdown for Derrick Brooks, and of course both of you guys have been effusive, rightfully so, the praise of really the pivotal figure of this defensive unit.
Well, you know, the other thing is that I think needs to be pointed out. This is an offense today that stepped up. I mean, this is an offense that really, when the defense was struggling, came up with some long drives, did their job for the second straight week. They scored 35 a week ago with the game on the line. Brad Johnson, Michael Pittman, Keyshawn Johnson, they got it done. Forever it was up to the defense to win games. They're winning games on offense now.
And I still think the game was decided early in the third quarter when they had 3rd and long and they got the ball into the hands of Michael Pittman, and he's able to convert that into a first down. They then went down the field and got a touchdown on that drive. And then Washington was just unable to do anything offensively, and quite frankly, the Redskins defense hasn't stopped the Tampa offense since that time. And you know, when you consider how much the Redskins dominated the time of possession early in this game, it's been a complete opposite here in the second half.
And you got to give Tampa Bay a lot of credit because of all the guys that are out and playing hurt today. Chad Morton returning for the Redskins and ridden down at the 23-yard line with just under 7 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, and a glum bench, and the glummest of all seems to be LeVar Arrington.
Yeah, and they're bringing Rob Johnson in at quarterback, which is really a good decision. I mean, Patrick Ramsey's been back there. He's been taking some hits. Tough to come back from this deficit. Get Rob Johnson in. Rob Johnson has not yet played for the Redskins this season. Of course, he joined them after having been with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
First down on the 22, and Liddell Betts brings it out to the 26-yard line. So I'll tell you, Patrick Ramsey having to face 2 crunching defenses in as many weeks. The Eagles last week, and then going right into the fire with the Bucs, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, this is graduate level work right now for Patrick Ramsey, and you go back the week before that, having to go up against Bill Belichick and company up there as well. So, I mean, this is the best of the best the last 2 weeks, possibly the last 3 weeks as far as coordinators that he'll face, and he'll step forward. He's a guy that's still learning.
2nd and 6, Rob Johnson handing off to Betts. And Betts to the 29-yard line, bringing up 3rd down. And many of the crowd here in Landover headed for the exits. They get the idea, but you know, you can leave sometime too early. But with Steve Spurrier going with Rob Johnson, it looks like Spurrier is saying, let's get ready for another day.
Yeah, and I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers showed us today why they are the defending world champions. For them to come off a very devastating loss and just hang in there today when things were not going well for them, I think it says a lot about this ball club.
3rd and 3. And the pass caught, first down to Rod Gardner at the 40-yard line. And, you know, you look at all of the changes in the secondary. Brian Kelly, who was, you know, tied for the league in interceptions last year, and then you have to move people around. And, you know, that's a tough deal. Shelton Quarles, they hope to get him back very soon. The linebacker is out. And I think that John Gruden did a fantastic job of being resourceful on offense with some of his players hurt on that end of it.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about Monty Kiffin all day today and what he did adjusting with his defense as well.
First down, and here's Gardner into Tampa Bay territory. And another first down. He gets 14 there. Yeah, Monty Kiffin came up with the right answers against Patrick Ramsey.
Yeah, and the other thing to point out is that they're going to be getting some of their players back. Shelton Quarles, their middle linebacker, who Nate Webster's been filling in for, he has been practicing this week. He's expected to come back in next week's ball game. And then also Joe Juravicius will be making a comeback here soon as well. So they'll slowly start to get more of the pieces of the puzzle back on the field, which is only going to help them.
Juravicius scheduled to come back for the Dallas game in 2 weeks. And the Byron Chamberlain with the catch at the 40-yard line as we get close to the 4-minute mark.
You know, Monty Kiffin this past week talked about his head coach, John Gruden. He said, you know, all week long, all I've heard after the loss was Tony Dungy this and Tony Dungy that. And yes, he did a great job with that team. Let me tell you something. We have a ring on our finger for one reason, and one reason only, and that's because John Gruden came to Tampa Bay. He was very, very defensive of his head coach.
2nd and 4. Rob Johnson in relief of Patrick Ramsey goes down. And that's Warren Sapp, and I think chalk up number 1 on the year for Warren Sapp.
Well, coming into the game, Warren Sapp actually had more touchdown catches than he had sacks. He had 1 touchdown reception a couple of weeks ago, and today he's got 2 sacks. But I think Monty Kiffin was being a bit complimentary in his comments about John Gruden, and rightfully so. But John didn't do it alone. I mean, there were a lot of players and a lot of coaches that helped contribute to that year they had a year ago.
And a timeout called by the Redskins with 3rd and 7 coming up, and it is not a crucial 3rd down, I think you could say. And so the timeout, well, this is going to be different for the Redskins. All of their games so far had been decided by 3 points or less. That will, and I'll do the math fast, not going to be the case today.
Well, I think they were looking forward, to playing in a game that they could win big, but instead it's the other way around. And let's be honest, even though Tampa's got some guys that are banged up, this is an overmatched ball club. I mean, the Redskins are not on the same level as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
But Tampa Bay, off of that short week, off of that embarrassment, off of going in down at halftime and not playing particularly well. This defense did not look good in the first half out here. For them to come out in the second half, I don't know what John Gruden said at halftime, but they exploded in the second half, both offensively and defensively, and they look like the world champions.
There are no automatics in the league, but this certainly wasn't a gimme coming into this game.
Absolutely not.
3rd and 7 on the 43 after the timeout. Rob Johnson has Lavernius Coles, and he will not get the first down as he tackled at the 40-yard line. Well, the Buccaneers, I guess you could call them road warriors now, because they will go 3-0 on the road. They defeated the Eagles 17-0, Atlanta by 21 points, and winning going away against the Redskins, and going on the road next week to play the San Francisco 49ers. So taking a look at the upcoming games on the Tampa Bay schedule, and a couple of toughies in there.
Well, they're all tough, Dick, and I still think San Francisco is a pretty good ball club, and they'll be tested again next week, as they will each week, as we see another sack
by Simeon Rice
making his 4th sack of the game.
You know, last year, remember Simeon had 5 straight games with at least 2 sacks that set a new NFL record. This guy is someone that you simply cannot just try and block with one guy. And that's the first one, though, on Chris Samuels, who's done a decent job on him today. But it's been backs, tight ends, and tackles. It doesn't matter. You can't get him blocked.
And I think it's interesting. When he was at Arizona, there were a lot of people that just didn't think that he was ever going to live up to the billing that he had coming into the league. But when he came to Tampa, 1, the system fit him very well. And then 2, as Monty Kiffin has said, the players around him, and it raised his level. When he was able to play with Derrick Brooks and McFarland and Warren Sapp, and it really made him go out and focus more, and he's become a much better player as a result.
Taking over on downs, and Michael Pittman to run the ball, and he is upended by Champ Bailey for a loss. And sometimes you have to get under that cloud, so to speak, in Tempe to show what you can do.
Yeah, but I think the biggest part of it, yes, Monty Kiffin and all those guys, but when you have Warren Sapp sitting inside of you, and you know he's going to draw the double teams, and Booger McFarland, probably no other team in the league would have been willing to single block Simeon Rice, because they were so afraid of Sapp and so afraid of McFarland on the inside. And Sapp's probably over there saying, you know, maybe you ought to not call me out too many more times before a ball game. He was definitely fired up today.
Well, they were banged up. The Redskins were in the middle, but it's a joyous sideline. Keyshawn Johnson, Warren Sapp, 2-minute warning. Bucs headed for their 3rd win of the year.
Exactly. Don't miss what everyone is calling the best new comedy of the year, Arrested Development. Premieres Sunday, November 2nd on Fox.
Over 8 minutes to go in the game, 4th and 6. Hey, Tony, I don't know about that call. You brought Brett Conway in. Don't you think you line up for the field goal there?
You know, I don't agree with the field goal. I was talking to a bunch of the kickers down here and looking at the ball. It's about, you know, it's very waterlogged. And I asked one of the kickers, he said he's taking about 10 yards off the kick. You know, I think you pin him back with a punt or go for it. I don't think it's a bad call. I hate being a Monday morning quarterback, but, you know,
it's Sunday afternoon.
You know better than I do, Darryl, being an offensive-minded person.
Hey, it's Sunday afternoon. You can second guess right now.
No, if you have a good defense like the Giants have, I think you punt, you put them back, you let your defense go out there, let them punt the ball back to you, and then start over. You got 7.5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, but the big thing is the play before that. If it's 4-down territory, do something more productive on 3rd down.
And that was a great point as Falk takes off out to the 43. Great point by Tony about the wet balls. Feel it costing kickers.
For the first time in the game, lead it 21-20.
Outside out.
Look at this. Look what Peyton Manning did in the first half in comparison with the second half, and it really goes against the grain in terms of what this team has usually done in the second half of games.
2 minutes to go in this one, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with 28 unanswered points running away from the Washington Redskins here on the road. Second down and 11, and the handoff to Thomas Jones, speaking about former Arizona Cardinals, and Jones getting the first down with under 2 minutes.
Well, and Michael Pittman as well. And you know, again, I like to go back to Brad Johnson and just the game that he's had. I mean, he threw 4 touchdown passes, 22 of 30 passing, and he just does such a good job. And I think he's a great fit for John Gruden. When you think of John Gruden and the job that he did with Rich Gannon in Oakland, then he's fortunate enough to get a guy like Brad Johnson. Both of these quarterbacks are students of the game, and they take it very seriously. They get in there. It's important to them. They're meticulous in their note-taking. I think it's really been a great fit for these two.
And you use what you have. Today didn't have Ken Dilger, who went out with injury, so he had Todd Yoder and Will Heller, and he also has Michael Pittman, who, of course, you mentioned, as he runs for the first down. Well, today's game produced by Richard Zients and directed by Artie Kempner. The technical producer is Matt Benedict. The technical director is Rich Basili. And the audio mixer is Fred Aldous. The associate directors are Greg Scopatoni and Derek Manning. The broadcast associates are Judy Wong and Jeremy Green. The pregame show produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The associate director is Stephanie Medina. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. And the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Aaron Stecker turning the corner. Looks like Tampa Bay wants to get some more. And with under a half a minute to go, and the clock continues to run, another first down.
You know, I just want to make the point that even if you're not a baseball fan, even if you hate the game of baseball, watch these two games tonight. You've got history in the making with the Cubs.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, this Yankees-Red Sox series is theater. It's amazing to watch that series.
And here's LeVar Arrington and Warren Sapp. After all of the words during the game, they are together again. That's sportsmanship for you. Tampa Bay will win on the road and will go to 3-2 on the year, winning their 3rd straight here. And the Washington Redskins now drop to 3-3 on the season. And we'll be back here to wrap it up. The final score again, the Buccaneers 35, the Redskins 13. We'll be right back.
They went to the bread and butter, where they've had success all afternoon long, especially in the first half. The middle of the field, Pollard found his niche there.
Just before the 2-minute warning, he gets it off to Pollard again. And you see what he did? How smart is that? Try to run a play before the clock is going to stop anyway for the 2-minute warning.
An extra timeout. You're right.
And that's the 2-minute warning, and it's hot. Carolina by 7.
Hits Akins. Doesn't matter what happens after that. It's Giants football. Even if Mitchell picked it up, ran with it, and then fumbled, Giants get the football. Fans in the stadium, of course, do not understand the rule as they react to the replays up on the video screen. Jim Fossil knows the rule. +4 turnover margin for the Patriots today, which means the Giants are -4. And now -7 for the year. Collins over the middle, first down out at the 33.
A lot of people thought that coming into this game that Kansas City's chances of winning would have been better if they were the 3-0, the 3-2 team, and the Packers would have been undefeated at 5-0. It's tough to take an undefeated record on the road and win. that if the Chiefs should win this game, Dick, they are cemented as an outstanding team.
And here's the big play, 3rd and 12. The quick throw to the outside to Driver, and he can't get away from Eric Warfield, who quickly gets company.
Fugidia comes over as well as he out comes the field goal unit.
And no chip shot here either.
Well, Bidwell or Longwell actually hit a 50-yarder, his longest of the season.
You can see the graphic displaying what his percent. Those are his lifetime percentages. And he's right there in the 80. What is that? 89%.
In the 40 to 49, he's 74.2%.
And this one will be 42 yards. Bad snap, but the hold is good, and the kick is good. Doug Peterson with a great job. He had trouble handling the snap, but
until a quarter after, let's join Sam Rosen and Bill Moss.
And we welcome those of you who've just been watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Washington Redskins. The Bucs beating the Redskins. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss in Dallas, and we've had a good one here. The Philadelphia Eagles leading the Dallas Cowboys 21-20. Just over 2 minutes remaining. First play of the game, onside kick try by the Eagles, picked up by Randall Williams, ran it in for a touchdown. Eagles tied it on the fine run by Brian Westbrook. And Troy Hambrook with the touchdown run for Dallas. Deuce Staley got the Eagles back in with a 52-yard pass and run play. After Dallas field goal, it was Terrell Buckhalter with a touchdown run and the extra point giving the Eagles the lead. But now the Cowboys are at the Eagles 18. 1st and 10. And the tight end, Dan Campbell, moved.
You know.
Let's see what Ron Blum says.
Well, Corey Simon.
From the 45-yard line, 5:15 remaining. Nearly intercepted by Bruschi.
Manning to Wayne, 25 yards, and the Colts are 1 from tying it up. Remember, Vanderjagt has been hitting uprights lately. He doesn't here.
What a catch for Reggie Wayne, and Peyton Manning having the confidence to go backside to his number 2 receiver. And he'll look over here, and then he ends up going backside, goes the pump fake, and then just drops it right to Reggie Wayne. And see what Peyton Manning does is he knows that these corners are going to read the quarterback and squat. Exactly what happened there with Reggie Howard, and he teaches his receivers to just stay outside and go up with it. That's a brilliant play as Peyton Manning sets him up with the pump, right, whoop. Saw Howard squatting, creates the separation for his receiver, and Wayne goes up and grabs it. That is sweet. That's where the Colts are at their best. We saw it on Monday night against Tampa. And another treat to be able to see it here in Indianapolis as both of these teams, Ronnie, try to stay undefeated.
And we said the Indianapolis Colts are a second-half team. Second-half, best half. And it's held true today.
The comeback Colts. And they've done it. They've done it all year long. We saw it against Tampa. We saw it against Jacksonville.
And neither one of these teams is unaccustomed to overtime. The Colts went through it last week with Tampa Bay. Carolina went through it week 2 with Tampa Bay. Smart is gaffled up quickly.
Here's what's happened in this football game today, and it started with Marvin Harrison setting the new franchise record for receiving yards. He's getting the ball signed and labeled. Then he takes a big shot, but they're able to punch it in with Mungro on the very next play. Then here you've got an interception from Ricky Manning of Carolina. That sets up a big Stephen Davis touchdown. And Stephen Davis takes it in the third quarter, and then Stephen Smith, wide open on the go route, able to shake a tackler and punch it into the end zone. And then the replay challenge, which was terrible, I thought. And then the touchdown to get this thing tied up to Reggie Wayne.
38 seconds left in regulation. Foster. Thornton, who's been around the football all day long, comes up big again.
Thornton was great on special teams last year for this Indy team. They figured he'd come in and be the starter. And again, that's why they let Mike Peterson down to Jacksonville. And the turnovers.
Quick slant is caught down at the 37-yard line by Tim Carter. How is his jersey so clean?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's been in on this drive, but obviously, if he has been in the game, he hasn't been in a phase where he's been tackled or knocked to the ground.
3rd down and 7. Incomplete. Ike Hilliard looking for a flag. Tyrone Poole on the coverage. And now the Giants facing a similar situation as they did on their last possession. It's 4th down and 7. And they will obviously go for it once again because this would be a 54-yard attempt. So the Giants again going for it on 4th down. They have to get to the New England 30. Double coverage on Toomer. Pass broken up by Ty Law's replacement, Antoine Harris. So the Giants lose the ball on downs once again as we check in with James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Kenny, Indianapolis forced overtime. Here's how they tied it up. Peyton Manning had from a 4th and 4.
He'll send out the field goal kicking unit. The play clock has 8 seconds remaining and winding down.
So what once worked 2 years ago, the onside kick for Andy Reid coming down here to Texas Stadium and the Cowboys, is going to end up costing them.
Backfired.
Yeah.
Unless they can find a way. But let's see what happens here. Billy Cundiff is 2 for 2 in the game. A 51-yard field goal and a 22-yard field goal. He's made his last 9.
And I was kind of surprised. You don't catch an unprepared Bill Parcells team. You know? I mean, there are some teams in the league that you can catch teams on, and you just kind of know it by the way they're run. But not a Bill Parcells team.
For those of you who just joined us, the first play of the game, the Eagles tried a surprise onside kick. Randall Williams, a backup wide receiver for Dallas, caught the ball and ran it in 37 yards for a touchdown. 3 seconds into the game. And now Billy Cundiff will try to give the Cowboys the lead. Again. Toby Goen is the holder. It's a 28-yard field goal try. The snapper is Jeff Robinson. The snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is good. And the Dallas Cowboys have regained the lead with 1:11 left.
By injuries, this Giant team, if they're playing to the level that they expect to play as players, should have been in control of this football game, especially in the first half, the way their defense dominated the New England Patriot offense. They did the same thing last.
Probably going to end up setting this one out. You know what to do. Get out there and make it happen. Stephen Davis, there's his problem right there, the right forearm. And he hasn't been back in the game since he lost that fumble.
Tim, you make a great point. I wouldn't be surprised if we show up Monday morning and that forearm is broken.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Stephen Davis is one of the toughest running backs ever played this game. If he could be out there, he would be. Vanderjagt will kick it away in overtime to Rod Smart. He had a 100-yard kickoff return for a TD last week against the Saints. Smart is still going. Ball's out! Can you believe this?
You got the mad scrum. You don't know what's going on down in this pile right now, I'm telling you. Carolina got the football. Oh.
saves the day.
And
or at
Fox
least the
knows
series.
it. Fox knows it with Vanderjagt as the kicker for Indianapolis. The game was probably over at that point. Here's Smart trying to get up behind his wedge. Rob Morris gets a shot on it. There's the hit from the helmet. Strickland came in and knocked that loose. And the Panthers fortunate to come up with it. Watch Strickland almost gets pulled out there, but watch Strickland put his helmet on the ball there. Knocks it loose. Now it's the mad rush to try to get it. Looked like Cato June had it, but didn't come up with it.
Strickland, a third-round draft pick from Colorado. The rookie almost saved the day. Foster, as we said, will go at the starting tailback position. Foster. And he gets a couple before being dragged down by Marcus Washington. Look at Washington doing the Buffalo stance on the ground.
What an exciting year it's been for Indianapolis and Tony Dungy and coming back in football games. They overcome a 21-point deficit last week with under 4 minutes left to go in the game. Greatest comeback in NFL history, Ron. And then they're able to come back today and force overtime.
38 second-half points scored by the Indianapolis Colts. The team got back Tuesday morning at 4:15 a.m. And they're going into OT again. Delhomme throws. Muhsin Muhammad has it. Let's see where they mark it. He looks short of the first down from the mark.
Watch Raheem Brock out here coming on the end. He gets held, and he doesn't like it at all. You'll see Geno James just grab a hold of him here. See that? Pulled him towards him. Definitely threw Brock off his path to the quarterback. He didn't get a call back there from Larry Nemmers, who stands back there in position to make those types of calls.
That was the first catch of the game from Muhsin Muhammad. 3rd down and 1. Buckle your chin strap. Foster. He gets it on the second effort, and he's still going. Deshaun Foster, what a run. Second-year man out of UCLA, as you said, had the microfracture surgery, and he comes up big.
Watch all the blue shirts hit him, Ron, and he still gets outside and breaks it back in and picks up the first down and then some. And you had David Thornton, you had these guys overrun it. Foster has the vision and the quicks to cut back inside, and look at him still staying on his feet.
Remember, Foster was in the hunt for the Heisman his senior year in college, but he was ruled ineligible the remainder of the season. Not too many people knew about him coming back. I thought he could come back, but here he is. Play action to Smith. Smith drops the ball right through his hands.
What did they do that year, Billy?
How about them Cowboys?
They won the Super Bowl.
Yes, they did, Sam.
4 wins in a row for Bill Parcells and the Eagles and the Cowboys as they beat the Eagles, their toughest test thus far. And are they happy?
Shocked?
And you know what? They responded well, even when the Eagles came back at them, and the Eagles got the lead.
They have a plan. They all buy into it. They all believe it because the man in charge has instilled it and told them what he wants and why he wants it, and they're all on the same page.
The Cowboys defeat the Eagles 23-21. Randall Williams gets the game ball. He returned that onside kick attempt for a touchdown on the opening play of the game.
So the Dallas Cowboys
Done down here in developing a personnel. You need a specific type of personnel, Ron, to run that cover two and run it successfully. And Dungy's got those types of guys.
There's a look at Carolina today on 3rd down. 3rd and 3. Smith, he beat him at the line. We've got flags down. Smith beat Harper at the line of scrimmage, but let's see what the call is. Today's referee, Larry Nemmers, has been busy.
All-out blitz for the Colts.
And it's going against Carolina. as the preliminary signs point.
A terrific job by Stephen Smith there, getting outside of Nick Harper and breaking free and getting wide open. Let's see what the call is from Larry Nemmers.
Illegal motion on the left guard. Two men moving at the same time. Illegal hands to the face on the defense, number 25. Those penalties offset. Will replay third down.
So they get Geno James for movement, and then they get Nick Harper for the shot to the face.
Well, let's watch 78 here and see if he indeed does move. He's talking to his quarterback here. He's not even down in his stance yet. See, the problem is the tight end was moving and he was still going in his stance.
You can't come up like that.
That's
right.
Absolutely, you can't do that.
And then, of course, as we said, the offsetting penalty on the other side. Hands to the face by cornerback Nick Harper. The Colts have some substitution issues. Mike Doss limps off the field late. Strickland comes in his place, number 30. 3rd and 3. Goings in motion, play action. Going to Muhsin Muhammad, another flag is down as it's nearly intercepted by Walt Harris.
Walt Harris
is hurt.
Yeah, he is. And Steve Smith says they got another flag going against Indianapolis on defense.
That'll move the chains.
Larry Nemmers will make the call
Defensive
here.
holding, number 30. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, you talked about Strickland coming in. He just comes in for Mike Doss. He's on Ricky Prohl, who's right here in the slot. Let's see the hold from Strickland if it goes past the 5 yards. I don't know. He had his hands on his back, but Prohl clearly tripped and fell to the ground.
Well, that should mean a new set of downs, and it does. And remember, John Casey, the Panthers kicker, is perfect this year. He hasn't missed a field goal or a PAT. And he's got a long of 53 yards. He hit that week 4 against Atlanta. Foster trying to bounce outside. He gets away from Harris.
Look at that.
Oh, and just,
I mean,
John Foster, somehow this guy manages to use the stiff arm and stay alive when he looks as though he's caught.
Well, this is why he was drafted as high as he was. And again, terrific blocking by this group up front. But they have him stoned in the backfield for a stop. There with the stiff arm, and now he just takes off. And you're not going to arm tackle Deshaun Foster. He's got tremendous leg strength, Ron. And they had him in the backfield. In a game like this in overtime, you better make that tackle.
But how strong is the Carolina backfield now as Foster takes a rest? You've got your backups coming in and doing that kind of damage.
You know what that tells me? That this offensive line is playing a heck of a ball game.
Smart. And he's popped quickly. Brock with the tackle. And Casey, it looks as though they may be trying to straighten this thing out or line it up so he can get a straight kick. As we said, Casey has hit from 53. He's hit 4 field goals in overtime wins.
Timeout.
And he got one
That's
over Tampa Bay in week 2.
In the overtime. They have 1 left.
Timeout Indianapolis.
We talked a little bit about that sports hernia injury.
For Keyshawn Johnson, who said, yes, I can get open. Acts like you've been there. 28-13 Tampa Bay at this point. And then Sapp and Arrington showing the love after the game. You knew that was going to happen. 35-13 Bucs over the Redskins. All right, Bill Parcells, you got him believing in Big D. On the opening kickoff, David Akers. Remember this 3 years ago? Eagles come into Cowboy Town, tried to do the same thing. Well, this time, onside kick scooped up by Randall Williams for 37 yards later, touchdown. Cowboys up by 7, fourth quarter. Buckhalter, outside, inside, takes 20-yard touchdown run. Eagles 21-20 at this point. And then, Cundiff, field goal, 28 yards. Third of the day, 23-21. Dallas Cowboys take their record to 4-1, lead the NFC Eastern Division. Kerry Collins hoping to get the Giants off and running up in New England. Turns around. Tiki Barber.
First 6 career game winners for John Casey in all his years. Hard to ice guys like that, Ron. You see what happens here after 3rd down, what Tony Dungy and company decide to do.
Casey, the original member, only original member from the original Carolina Panthers since the inception back in 1995.
That's their first timeout. They have 1 left.
Timeout, Carolina.
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
And if you still have any energy left after this one, don't forget the postseason continues.
Still going at it. It is in overtime right now, as Terry just mentioned. Reggie Wayne coming through big, and again, Carolina driving right now. But the Colts, who came back from 21 on Monday night, obviously not phased. The Miami Dolphins